Obujulizi bumaze ne buvaayo kooti y'ensi yonna bulijjo bwerindiridde ku General Museveni omusango Kyagulanyi gwe yateekayo kaakati ne Namusa yatuuse dda ku nnyoge bijabagidde. Akatandikiro za n'akatambi kano tubirabe bulungi ebigenda mu maaso.
Kumwe abawuliriza niyinza okuba mu olw'ekiseera ekitono ekiyise waliwo muganda waffe Comrade munaffe eyafa mu ngeri etategerekeka naye ng'era naye ali wano mu Kenya. So y'ensonga lwaki mbagamba nti weewaawo nga ndi Kenya ndi mu gumumuko akatono kubanga ate bwe Kenya kyawukanako okuba Uganda kuba nti okusomoozebwa kwennyina obulamu bwa wano buli very expensive ate nga kyamazima yatugoba tatudde wabula neebaza mwenna abasobodde okuyimirirawo ne bannaffe ne mubeera nga mubazzaamu amaanyi ko n'essuubi. Nga nze Comrade Mayiga Ronald navaayo okwogera ebyantuusibwako kubanga nali nsuubiziddwa okuttibwa oba okusiba obulamu bwange bwonna singa nayogera ku bikolobero ebintuusiddwako n'ebyo byatuusibwa ku baganda baffe Walter Olivia. Obazzaawo katono emabega nze omu eyasibwa ne Walter Olivia Bamachete baseekasaanya mu court martial oba mu kooti y'amagye e Makindye era nga fayiro eyo tugiriko abantu 32. Nawambibwa omulundi ogwasooka zaali ennaku z'omwezi nga 12 omwezi ogwokutaano omwaka 2021 ne mpambibwa abasirikale ba Museveni okwali aba SMI ab'amagye okwali aba anti-counter-terrorism abo bambala ebyambalo ebya black n'abali mu civilian clothes ne bantwala mu bifo byesitasooka kutegeera okumala akabanga. Nawambibwa ne muganda wange Nnyombi Richard n'omuwala girlfriend wange mu biseera ebyo naye kyannaku nti naye yarepingibwa kyokka ng'ate yali ng'ali mu periodis ze. Gavumenti ya Mwami Museveni teswala wabula nti nze sijja nagamba nti oba bye bakola ebitasaana wabula babikola na bigendererwa. Bimu ku byo babikola ng'ebigendererwa bya kutusiiga siriimu. Ebyokubya ebigendererwa byabwe babikola okutunafuya n'okutumalamu amaanyi kubanga basibanga abantu nga balaba bawongera okusiba naye abantu bongera kulemerako baagala nkyukakyuka. Naye kati we batuuse ate kikolwa ekyokubeera nga batusodomizinga nga babadde nga boogera nti gavumenti teyeenyigira mu bikolwa ebyo era nga bagamba nti President waffe Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu sagala nabijjukira wadde obyogerako naye nga babitukola tutye naye tetujja kutya tujja sigala nga twogera era nja kusaba eri oyo yenna alina obusobozi oba alina omutima ogulumirirwa nyambibweko okufuna neetaaga okufuna ring light n'okufuna ka wifi kubanga information nyingi nnyo gye njagala okubeera nga nfulumya bwe kuba kuttibwa nzitibwe ng'eggwanga litegedde amazima n'agali emabega w'okubeera nga baganda baffe Otayo Olivia up to now nga bakyalemedde okubeera nga balirizinga olw'ebigendererwa bya mwami Museveni ko n'abo abakolagana naye era ne neebaza bannayuganda bannaffe abali mu mawanga g'ebweru abasobodde okuteekawo pressure kubanga abamu ku bo bayivu basobodde okuteekawo pressure ne tulaba nga muyambye kinene nnyo okubeera nga sanctions zeeyongera okugenda ku bantu abo abatutuusiza mu mbeera eno naye nja kubasaba mwongerere ddala kubanga kyemukola kigattako nnyo naffe tubeera bagumu nga tulaba nga nammwe temutudde naye ate nenakuwalirako abo abali mawanga g'e Bulaaya abalowooza nti bo baatuuka abakolagana ne gavumenti ya mwami Museveni ng'etulugunya na Uganda naye nammwe mugenda kutuuka ekiseera nga temulina naye babaziika oba amalaalo g'abajjajja mu baba bakadde bammwe gasendebwe wana abantu bangi nnyo be tulabye banaye munansonyiwa naye bantu bangi nnyo be tulabye nga balina babadde balowooza nti bali bulungi naye nabo bwe bakimala okutuuka ewaabwe ne balyoka balaga nti ate bategedde ekiri mu Uganda naye ng'ewaabwe ebigenda mu maaso mu Uganda baba babimanyi baba beebuzaabuza beefuula abatabiraba bo baagala bimale kutuuka mu nnyumba zaabwe balyoke bamanye nti mwami Museveni mubi ne gavumenti ye mbi. Wano nalabye omukulu Felix Kulaije omwogezi w'amagye g'eggwanga Uganda ng'avaayo ng'agamba nga bwe batamanyi era nga bwe batakwatangako weewaawo ngenda essaawa yonna era nja kusaba abakulu mmwe abali ku mukutu guno abawuliriza munteekereteekere Twitter space nkowoola okunteekerateekera Twitter space tujje tulabise abasajja bano ne gavumenti ya mwami Museveni naye nga muwandiikire abo ab'ebitongole ebya CMI ab'ekitongole eky'amagye ga Uganda muwandiikire abantu counter terrorism abo abajjat muwandiikire Uganda Human Rights Commission okubategeeza nti neetaaga okubeera ku Twitter space nabo bawakanye nze byenjogera nti nasodomizingibwa tinaggyibwamu amannyo nti nasibwa amayinja ku bitundu byange ebyekyama mu mwaka gwa 2021 nga mpambiddwa mu mwaka gwa 2024 nensodomizingibwa kono okunjokya paasi abifaananyi abasinga mwabiraba naye zino enkovu ze mulaba zino sinze nazeetuusaako gavumenti ya mwami Museveni ng'ekolagana n'amagye gaayo n'abo abasirikale ekiwamba abantu mu ggwanga Uganda kikyalimu ate kigenda bugenzi mu maaso kikula bukuzi naye nze neewaayo omwami Museveni okunzita naye nga njogedde ekyo ekituufu ekikolebwa gavumenti ye ate nga yakikulemberamu webula olw'obusobozi bwange obutono mbasaba nga mbeegayirira munkwatireko nsobole okuba nga mbeera ne access ya internet okubeera nga mbeera online every time okubeera nga mumpa omukisa ku platform zammwe nnene eziwulirwa abantu ab'enjawulo n'okunnyambako bye mba njogedde mu lulimi Oluganda okubisa mu Luzungu ensi yonna etegeere kikyemba bijogerako kikyemba mpitamu oba eggwanga Uganda liyitamu ki naffe tulina famire ng'abantu abalala baba balowooza nti bo beeyagalira mu ggwanga Uganda sente z'omusolo ne zituumibwa mu mayumba g'abantu abamu. Nze nawulidde ennaku oyo Muhoozi Kanyerugaba nga sinna munnayuganda bwe yazaalibwa Kenya, munnansi wa ggwanga lya Kenya. Naye n'avaayo n'agamba mbu baasiba minisita, mbu aba NRM baasiba minisita mbu kubeera nti yamuwagira. Naye ate ng'agamba aba NRM bamusiba. Naye nga ffenna tukimanyi bulungi, oba abadde takimanyi kitegeere nti ebyo ebisawo bya ssente ebyalinga mu mayumba g'abaminisita zezo ssente ze bakozesa okutulugunya bannayuganda. Bazibba ssente y'omusolo ne bazikuŋŋaanya mu mayumba gaabwe. Bwe bamala ozikuŋŋaanya mu mayumba gaabwe ne zikozesebwa okugulirira abo abatalina mutima gwa ggwanga. Ne bazikozesa okugula abantu, okuwa bannayuganda obutwa. Ebyo byonna njagala mubeere nga mubimanya. Y'ensonga lwaki Mwami Muhoozi yavuddeyo n'abeera ng'agamba nti ye okusiba minisita ayagala bamuyimbule kubanga yawagira Muhoozi oba aba NRM, ate ng'agamba aba NRM bamusiba. NRM yaani? NRM ye Museveni n'ekitabani kye n'abo baminisita baabwe. Museveni yalonda baministers. Kyokka ate be bakutte n'ebisawo bya ssente be bazigabana, naye ng'ebigendererwa byabwe lwakuba nti Katonda yatusaasira ne tufuna Kyagulanyi n'atutera mu palamenti abantu abagezi nga Joel Ssenyonyi abagoberera ebigenda mu maaso. Tetwalisobodde kumanya bubbi obwo. Naye ate ne Ssenyonyi alaajana agamba nti waliwo entuulo ezituuzibwa nga tategeezeddwako era nga tamanyi nga tazi. Omutwala be gye buvuddeko ng'oyo osimanya ow'ebitaano Mpuuga ng'agamba mbu simanya yawangudde omusango ng'era ali mu serebule. Naye nga serebule eki nga bo bennyininyini beeteekerateekera omulamuzi ani yawawabira Mpuuga mu kkooti. Mpuuga yennyini yeyeewawabira omusango. Ye yafuna omuntu n'amuwa ssente, era ssente y'omuwa omusolo mbwe agende bawaaba omusango basobole okusaabulula kino eky'okugamba nti bagenda baggyamu obwesige. Era nga babikola ne gavumenti ya Mwami Museveni. Bannange siina bingi nnyo bya bagamba, naye nze nja kumaliza nga mbasaba ebintu bibiri bye bamunyambako. Ekisooka Kenya eri very expensive, ate nga neetaaga okubeeramu nga ndi online byemu ku bigenda okumakinga okuba nga ndi safe. Ekyokubiri nti ng'omuntu ekyamazima ne Kenya wennyini siri seefu, naye akaseera akatono kenkyaliwo njagala okubeera nga nsobola okuwa information, naye obusobozi bwange tebunsobozesa kubanga kineetaagisa ssente okufuna ebikozesebwa okubeera nga mbeera online. Maliriza nga nja kubasaba muganda wange ono ajja bbawo ennamba y'essimu musobole okubeera nga mutusapootinga. N'ekirala munteekereteekere Twitter space naye nga mugenda givundwa mugize mu lulimi Oluzungu, ensi yonna lwesobola okubeera ng'etegeera. Neyanziza nnyo neyanzeege okuleka nga waliwo alina ekibuuzo kyambuuza nga sinaba kubasiibula.
So, Mwami Ronald Mayiga, how do you spell Mayiga or Mayiga?
Mayiga, M-A-Y-E-G-A.
M-Y-E-G-A, okay, Mayiga, Ronald Mayiga. So, Mwami Mayiga, munange webale nnyo kujja kutubunono tuwulira by'oyitamu. Bagamba kiri too heartbreaking. Simanyi na kugamba kiri webaza kuba nti olina courage n'obugumu okuba nti osobola n'okujja wano n'obyogerako kubanga abasinga kugamba it's just too much, too painful kuba nti osobola n'okukyogerako. Munange era tujja kulaba kusala amagezi gonna okulaba nti Twitter space ejja kukolebwa ate tujja kulaba nangeri ngeri tusobola okuyambamu kuba nti ofuna omukutu nga bw'ogamba olina information enene nnyo gyoyagala okubanga otuwa n'ogiwa diaspora n'ensi yonna. Ekyo kikulu nnyo kubanga abantu bano bonna ensi yonna etteeka okumanya Museveni ebikolobero byakola ku bantu baffe, ate gwe kirungi nnyo okuba ne witness ate nga you are the real oli bagamba obiyitamu ate ng'oyogera n'eddoboozi lyo. That is extremely very powerful. Era tujja Twitter space eyo tujja kusaba aba UN Human Rights n'ebitongole ebirala ebikwata ku bantu oba International Criminal Court tulabe oba basobola nabo okujja ne bawuliriza nga bw'ogambye oyagala ba CMI n'ebitongole ebyo ebirala ebya gavumenti ebitukunya abantu bibenga nabyakuba ebyo bisobola either county naye bitabeerako nze I don't care naye ogamba it's important to hear from you nti oyogedde byekoze era singa osobola okufuna ngeri gy'oba gyorecordingamu ebyo bano obiteeka wansi beyond the Twitter space nibiba nga biri documented oba mu audio oba kugamba nekiba nga record kisobola okuba nga kiri recorded somewhere future generation abannayuganda n'abatali ku Twitter space nabo ne babisoma oba ne babiwuliriza nga bw'ogambye weebale nnyo mukulu munnange simanyi na kyakwogera agamba munnange tukusaasira era tujja kulaba engeri yonna gye tusobola kuyambamu naye munnange weebale nnyo weebalire ddala kaakati mmanyi abaagala okwogera bingi nze ebigambo bimbuza n'okumbula naye kansuubire nti bannaffe bano bagenda kubuuza ebibuuzo tulabe oba bagenda commentinga tulabe ki abalala kibalowooza weebale nnyo mukulu Wona Bayiga weebale nnyo simanyi na wakomya naye weebale nnyo ssebo ojja kumukukkanya abakulu okay before I go let me see there was someone here Tina Mirembe people who don't understand Uganda. So this is Mr. Wona Bayiga, also known as Buwedeyo Bobi. He was talking about how he was abducted twice, first in May 2021, and I think again in June 2024. And in 2021, he was abducted along with 32 or 33 others, I think. And they tied stones on his private parts, genitals. And then recently in June, he was sodomized when he was abducted. And the abductors include the CMI, UPDF, anti-terrorism, forces. And he was going through all the suffering is undergone and all the different torture our other colleagues are suffering. And so he asked for assistance. He's in Kenya right now, but he doesn't feel safe enough in Kenya. But he requested for a Twitter space whereby he can, talk about his experience. And he said he does not mind if even intelligence agencies, Museveni's CMI, anti-terrorism forces, the UPDF, and all these other officials on the Twitter space because they would like to confront them, for them to deny that they did what he says, it did to him. So he wants to kind of take them on Twitter space. So he requested for that Twitter space so that he can document what happened to him and also have the world hear firsthand what Museveni is doing to our people. So I promised him that we definitely will see to that we, we arrange a Twitter space for him to tell the world what happened. I also requested for some facilitation to enable him to be able to be online. And of course, he's in Kenya, but he doesn't feel safe. And of course, he needs some facilitation. It's expensive. So those are things which hopefully our leaders or we in the diaspora can work out. So this was a very powerful testimony, talking about being sodomized, and it was kind of referring to how he talks about, he was, remember this LGBT anti-law that was passed in Parliament, saying that these people are sodomizing our people, but then Museveni himself, over the years, has been using sodomization. His security forces are sodomizing our people. Meanwhile, it's claiming that it's against, he's passing this law to make sure that it protects us from such ills, such evils. So it was a very powerful testimony. I really thank Mr. Wona Bayiga for that testimony. It takes a lot of courage. It's gone through so much, and not so many people would be willing to come forward and testify to such events. So thank you, Mr. Wona Bayiga. also known as Ebigambo Bobi. We really are very grateful that you took the time to be with us. And with that, I'm going to call on other members to have their say. Thank you so much. Mr. Manyanja Ben, can you please come in? Mr. Manyanja Ben, was that the old hand, or do you want to say something else? Okay, I guess we can't hear you.
I had nothing to say, but I wanted to bring Comrade Maiga to explain everything to us. I think I've finished.
Thank you so much. Robert, that was excellent. All right, Mr. Iga, can you please unmute? And we actually let's read this. Yes. Yeah, again, your connection is very poor. I think like last week. Do you have another gadget?
No, whichever one I will be the same issues with the link.
I don't know. Your internet.
I try via the phone and see. I can do it my again.
Yeah, can you unmute, get up and join again, please? Okay, Mimi, can you please unmute?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Nze kuwange njagala kwebaza Mr. Maiga. I happen olumu nali ku space emu okwali Dr. Stella Nyanzi, and I happen to raise a point about your protection. Nze ndi so concerned about you being protected. Kubanga ogenda naddanga oli Uganda bw'oyogera ku bintu ebintu nga by'oyogedde ebi so sensitive, they are most likely gonna come and pick you up. Kati my concern was your protection. Naye unfortunately space eyo tebantegeera. They thought maybe I was fear-mongering. Naye I was not fear-mongering because you have a lot of evidence. And that evidence is contrary to what the government is saying. Nti abantu they don't tebaba hijackinga, bebe hijackinga, nopu yeye hijackingira abantu babwe. They are not torturing. They pray. Bazanyo omuzanyo nti they don't know anything about the hijacking. They don't know about people being raped, sodomized, and all these things. Kakati nze ndi musabunyifu nnyo that you so far, you know, naye era tekitegeeza nti you're fully protected, but is always to protect yourself. Ate naffe community okuba nga protecting omuvubuka ono. You know, he has a lot of evidence. Ngera Comrade Comrade Joseph Waga, and you need to record. Ogenda ku Twitter space kirungi n'okwogera. Naye ojjukira nti they hack these spaces and they delete things off, you know. Kati nsaba nnyo mwami Ben and you guys sit down and start writing. Write. Bw'oba mwina record. Bw'otuuka ogenda Twitter space, you can go there. But every single thing that happened, ekintu kyonna kye walaba, abantu b'omanyi bwe walaba, byonna ebintu ebyo bi recording. And have that information sent to some people, not to be sigaza na kwa abasobola okujja enkya ne bakola ekintu ekibi ate ebintu ebyo byonna ne babitwala oba essimu yonni ne bagitwala biki. But record that stuff, and I know there are people who are responsible here who are going to forward that information where it needs to get. Well, that is the evidence. Evidence gye tulina oba evidence erina ku government. Abayimirira buli naku mubufesi ffe bwe batukola. Ani yakugyamu amanyi? Wagenda ne wejjamu bwegimanyi, you know? Who did the sodomizing on you? They need to be real evidence of things other than for just on Twitter spaces net byogerako. Now all of us have to take action and be responsible and be kituvunaanyizibweko kubanga omuvubuka ono tumuprotectinga. era n'abalala bwe bati abavaayo, because many people decide not to talk about it kubanga they have fear for their lives, but it has to be our responsibility n'okubituusa we birina okutuuka, you know, okubyogerwako. But that is that. Naye I pray for you, nsaba ate ffenna bannange, let us jump in to facilitate this guy, because he has a lot of evidence, and if we let evidence go, we'll never get it anywhere. Naye nga tukusabira, and we thank God that at least oli away from mumanyo g'empisi. The other thing I wanted to bring up is about somebody talked about I think in the beginning that tutandika waliwo somebody who talked about somebody who needed to bring innovation to Uganda, but they needed a cut okusobola okuyisaawo ekintu ekyo. Bannange, that is the ensi gye tulimu e Uganda, nti kati abantu ng'ekintu ng'ekyo they don't see, bakiraba okitwala ng'ekyangu, but we just pass it or we just let it go. But those are the leaders we have right now in Uganda. Everything you want to, even every good thing you want to get to Uganda, you have to be engaged in English. You have to pay someone for something to happen in Uganda. Yet they are the ones who come in the diaspora here and say, oh, come and invest. They come in you guys come and invest. But when people take for people to invest in Uganda, they want cuts. And the people, omuntu akuletera investment, omuntu akusakidde, ate gw'ogamba mbu first pay this money and then we can put it in. When you guys need that service, you need electricity. And then you say they first cut for you. Look at this global fund. Abantu abamu mwerabira nnyo batwerabira nnyo about this global fund. Mumanyi omusajja oyo Bill Gates. How that guy every year puts a budget sending to these third world countries. Budget n'agiteekawo n'aga ssente bwe ziti zijagenda na ensi zonna ne bazilining up third world countries. Naye mumanyi ssente ze twasuba just because of these people who stole this money. Few people who stole money. And the whole country suffers because of these few people who stole money because of their own interests. And that is what has been going on for years. There's a manyiko, a certain guy, Natwali Kulumbo Olumu n'agamba nti he had people coming from the United States to go to Uganda to bring wind or manufacturing electricity. And this guy was taken to the president himself. And the president himself said, well, this is going to compete with Umeme. How can you, a full president, competition is good because then people become innovative, to stay on market. But the reason that to me the sense behind it was Bobe nyini beba nanyini zino zi company. Kakati balaba competition ejja okubatwalako that market, you know, and that is why they put away these investors or these people in the diaspora who are bringing investments in Uganda, but because they can't get cuts on it, or because they are going to compete with their own companies. Kati bannange Uganda in Tunde, the whole of Uganda is sold out. That is all I have to say. It's sold out. And then you diaspora people, they are bringing investment, come and invest. What are you investing in? Those people put money in and they pull it out the next day. And you guys who invested lose all your money. Keep your money in the diaspora. You know, keep your money and let us protect those we need to protect our own people. But you putting in that country that is already segmented for themselves. And the other thing, we need to fight to get back our country. Thank you.
Thank you. That was excellent. It's but they were panic. For your remarks. Again, thank you so much, Mami, for my gap for that. Now let me call on. I forgot what I was going to say. Let me call on Paul so that he can also say what he needs to say. Paul, can you please unmute and say what you need to say?
Yes, so first of all, Mayiga Sasira, ebintu ng'ebyo bibi nnyo ebyengejje ebikosaamu omubiri n'obwongo. So nze nga advice kyenkuwa wona tetuli safe, ne mu Uganda tetuli safe. Ate n'abanakeya nabo balina struggle yaabwe, nabo Museveni akolagana ne gundi oyo Ruto. Abanakenya nabo babase mu kwekalakaasa, emirambo gyabadde mu Kwale ekitundu bayita Bukwale nga mu kwekalakaasa okubaddeyo. So omunnayuganda ng'oli mu Kenya nawe of course olina kwebala nga ali mu Uganda, at least this time around obeera oli ingidde mu nsi ndala, ensi eyo kigikakatako okubanga bakuprotectinga lwakuba singa bakuttirayo. Of course, tulina dictatorship mukati mu Africa, bakweka obujulizi, babuzaabuza ebintu, naye at least omanyiko nti at least okulosinzeeko borders muli okifiiringa nga at least olinga ali safe, naye era oli worried kuba recently twaluzingako omu ku ba comrades wa struggle wa NUP. I think it was the LC councillor, what is his name? I've forgotten his name. He was found dead. So Museveni alina aba agents be across. So kino ekintu batugamba nti no one is safe until we are all safe. It doesn't matter where you are. Where there is no democracy, we are not all safe. Okay? So olina okukitegeera, naye kyenkugumya kasita ovuddeyo n'obyogerako, kiyambako okusinga bw'osirika. Ate bw'obyogerako n'okaaba kikuyambako okitegeera. It does help you. Dr. Nico ne Comrade Docas balina team profiling brutality causing etuuse ku bannayuganda ab'enjawulo kasita babulira amannya go mu bujjuvu n'obabulira byakutuukako bawandiika. Kyova olaba Docas abadde ateekayo nga tujjukira abantu Museveni basse mu struggle gye tulimu, ng'ateekayo amannya gaabwe, kiki ekyabatuukako, kifo ki. Kati information ng'eyo tugyetaaga, naye kiri ekisingira ddala bw'oli codinga nga victim torture wa Museveni, n'osooka n'olikodinga ka short video, brief account ebintu ebyakutuukako byonna. Ate n'ekirala Twitter space yo tusobola ogisupportinga, tusobola okwekungamu ne tukola lumu ne tu-inviting in fact by different human rights organizations, government organizations ez'enjawulo, n'aba Gen Z bonna ne tuba invitinga nga twagala kuba kino kitukwatako ffenna mu East Africa ne mu Africa, nga tusobola okuinvitinga abantu ne Twitter space n'ebeera nnene nnyo, in fact ne going viral. Oba bamala ne bagisangulayo fine, naye nga tuba tumaze okwongera okulwezinga awareness, okitegeera. Ate kiba kikwongedde obukuumi kuba kati obeera nowuni, okitegeera nti obeera weyongera okumanyibwa abantu nti Museveni bano abantu abatuusaako obuzibu bwa sodomy, torture, ebyo tubadde twogerako bikonfaminga ne ICC case gye tulina, okitegeera. Museveni twamwabira mu ICC, tulindirize just ye kumwindictinga na kumuyita, kati akyekwese lwakubanga yeeyita president, naye kati asooka avueko saawa zino olabe bw'atagenda mu ICC the next week ne mutabani we. So Mayiga ne ba victims abalala mu Uganda, Museveni kyakola agamba msimanyi anti-terror unit. That anti-terror unity is a unit which is actually a terrorist unit. Museveni has got illegal forces which are not constitutional in Uganda. He's got the SFC. SFC is unconstitutional. It's not constitutional. Okay, it is there to keep him in power. And he's got also the so-called crime preventers. He had the crime preventers, and one of them was seen saying that for Museveni they can kill. They are willing to kill. That video is there. I even have it in my archives. And if I had it here, I will share it on this platform. In fact, after here, I will raise my hand again and I will play it in the background, and you will hear it. You know. So Museveni himself is actually a mercenary who has been entrusted by the Western government, and they give him money. He has dodgy deals with them to commit their crimes, like in Congo, in Somalia, in Uganda, in the entire region, okay? This is Museveni. Museveni is a terrorist, a hired terrorist mercenary. Museveni is not a Ugandan, even if he wasn't a Ugandan, but he's not a patriotic Ugandan, okay? It's not, it's like he came to root and destroy Uganda. That's his mission. He does, yavayo nagamba nze nekolera nze na family yange. So he doesn't serve Uganda. He doesn't serve the Africans. He's serving himself and the Western interest. And this is what we've been telling the West, that you stop giving this man power. You know, this guy is a terrorist. You know, you see this guy, Zebra Mando. Zebra Mando was seen to be working with the NRMs, the RDCs, and all that. He was sitting in their meetings. They knew where he lived. He's a civilian. They came one night, the so-called JAT, whatever, anti-terror unit, in uniform, as you described. And they killed this man in front of his children. This guy is a civilian. This guy does not pose any threat to the JAT. Why were they scared that they just go to him and then they just shoot him? You know, those are the things that people should be asking. Why in the country where you think they have police, you have the so-called JAT, but they are actually, it is the other way around, the opposite. So Museveni, when he steals the election, he says he was stolen. Museveni, when he says he's fighting corruption, again, he fights those people who are fighting corruption. So Museveni is the opposite. He's been lying to the world. And that's why we need more pressure on the international community that Museveni is the opposite of what he says. Okay? Museveni, when he says he's the Ebisiaga, ate Museveni ya promoting Ebisiaga, ate Museveni ya akole Ebisiaga. Okay? As a form of torture. Okay? That Museveni uses these things. Hooding. That's what they call hooding. And that's kind of a form of torture. When they hood you, yeah, they put some clothes on you, on your head, and they cover your eyes, and then they make a lot of noise, sleep deprivation, all sorts of physical and psychological torture. Okay? So this sort of yours, my God, is very powerful. Nga Comrade Joseph Bwagambye. Of course, we do kill the people power. People power. Eri Kenya na yo waliyo people power. Now you can identify people whom you associate with or you share the values with, and the people can help you always. And right channels that people power eri abantu bosobola contactinga. Netwekulamu ano mulimo, netwekulakubamu ano, then we sustain you. Tosubira tugenda kuwa luxurious life. Now we want you to be protected, and then so that you can be able to communicate, and also you can be able to feed, and also tosobola agenda mukifo ng'oli mulwadde n'olwala, and then tosobola kwejjanja. But things like that, basic things to feed, nga yekolera naye ali eyo. So this struggle, it is our struggle. Ate Museveni agamba nti those are foreign agents, they are funded by the West, by the foreigners. But Museveni himself is one who's been funded by IMF, World Bank, and that's our taxpayers' money. And that's why we keep on protesting. In the future, when we redeem ourselves, we shall not pay those loans because it is on record. Like this Zoom is being recorded, okay? We can always play all these Zooms and we talk about these things. We bring them back. Okay, so Ngamaliriza, or in the interest of time, Maega, njagala obeere nga okola bye exercise ebyo omuntu ekintu ekikuluma ng'oyogera, you can speak out, okay? And you're not the only one. So thank you very much, and Comrade Joseph for the mic, and then I wish to hand over the mic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. Again, God willing, we are Gambian, and we said Maiga's submission is very important, and this is what I want to say regarding Nemi's contribution. Yes, this evidence is extremely important, and we can forward it to the important institutions. And actually, we had reached out, several of us in the diaspora have reached out to different bodies, international community that deal with these kind of issues, that can hold Mr. to account. And of course, as you know, Nicole and others went to, they also submitted to the ICC. But what was lacking was evidence. This is the kind of evidence they want. You know, someone who can, who can actually speak to exactly what happened to them. You know, when it happened, and where, and the actual circumstances. So this is extremely powerful. So Mr. Mayiga, you could be something that actually unlocks what we've been waiting for. You know, what we'll finally get the international community and international bodies to hold themselves to account. Because you see, these bodies need evidence. You can't, like you need to back up what you're saying. You need to be able to speak to what happened. You know, like if you just collect information and then you reach out to relatives and other people and they're missing and you can't find the information or no one is willing to speak out, then it just dies, because these are, most of the people that work in institutions are lawyers. And these Western lawyers like evidence, and something which one can speak to. And so this is extremely powerful, Mayiga, what you've done. And we just pray that we are protected, because your submissions can really unlock what we've been waiting for. That could be what gets Museveni into the ICC, because of course there is some evidence, some stuff that was submitted, but actually initially I think there were many names that were submitted, but now it seems like I think a lot of them were lacking concrete evidence. So nothing moves forward without, even if it's just a few people that have really concrete evidence, it can go far, as opposed to having so many people and not anything that can be verified. So extremely grateful. And I'm proposing a Twitter space on Friday. It's Friday the 23rd. I think I sent you a message. I think we should, we not just speak, action. So I'm proposing Friday the 23rd. We should have, but I'll communicate with Mayanja, and we'll see. I'll work with, talk with other people to see that Ms. Dorcas, the 23rd on Friday, we should hold a Twitter space on this issue. I think it will be very, very important. And then we get, because I'm going to take off work. Normally, I'm not able to have a doctor's appointment in the morning, so I'll be able to, I think I should be able to be on the Twitter space, and we can hold, invite very important institutions to be part of this discussion. So I think tentatively everyone that's here, the 23rd, I think that is potentially, we've not yet decided on the time. There are a lot of logistics that are involved, but just know that if you go to perhaps Uganda's Bleeding's Twitter space, Twitter account, I'm sure once everything is finalized, you can find out the information as to when that Twitter space is going to be on the 23rd. But yes, we need to jump on this. This is a great opportunity. In the meantime, Mr. Mayiga, is extremely important, and Mr. Mayanja, to not even waste time, record, even now, or beginning to now, or, just start recording and writing or whatever down, just, and putting aside, beyond the Twitter space, we need that evidence, we need the recording or written evidence, whatever you can remember. In fact, they can also help you prepare for the Twitter space, once you kind of like recall everything that happened and where and what time and all that. So please work on that as we also prepare for the Twitter space. So thank you so much. Now let me call on Mr. Reggie. Mr. Reggie, again, please come up and join us and add your voice to this. Mr. Reggie?
Yes. Mr. Mayiga, pole sana. You are not dead because it's not your appointed time. You're going to hear a lot of things. Have faith. Any word that is less than God, you're going to become useless. You live in fear, you get stressed, you will stop thinking. What is going to hold you up? Keep your head clear. Your step is faith. Anybody who has not spoken, who has spoken to you, but they didn't include faith, put faith. After you add faith, it will make sense whether what they have spoken is beneficial or it's just logical. These people don't care about
what happened to Mr. Mogeni? Mr. Mogeni? Lost you. All right, Mr. Iga, in the meantime, can you please unmute and have to say what you... Oh,
yeah, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me see if Reggie can come back. Reggie, let me, hold on a second, please. Let me see if I can get Reggie back because you lost it. Reggie, can you unmute, please, again?
the devil is a liar. When he hears the word of God, and by demons and the spirit that is not of the living God. That's what happens. So, Micah, number 2, these people did these things to Acholi and Namu during Kony time. But because Museveni was not yet smelling as he's smelling now, because everything he does now, even the people who are in there are suffocating with the smell. That's the reason.
Again, Mr. Mangani, Reggie, you have issues with your connection. So let me call on Mr. Iga. Please, Mr. Iga, can you unmute again? And I think we're about to close. So you may be the last submission.
Yeah, can you hear me now, Joseph?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, good evening, good afternoon to everyone on this Zoom. Now, I had a lot to say, but having heard from Comrade Micah, yeah, if he hasn't broken you, then you are not human. It is very, I mean, this is why we go and protest, yeah? People sitting behind there that they are not affected, you will be affected at some point. Now, we go on this protest in where we are now because we are pretty safe, yeah? No one is gonna come to pick us off the streets, but we can make a difference by making that necessary noise that our embassies at every institutions we can. Yeah? We have to book holidays, but it's all worth it for our brothers who have gone through that much pain, yeah? So that Uganda gets free. Yeah? I pray for my comrade brother, Mr. Maiga, but to try to be careful because these people are listening via Facebook. Not everyone who comes to you in saying, oh, they are from human rights organization is a good person. Because Kenya, as we know, Ruto is Museveni. A few weeks ago, people were, I mean, the Ugandan whatever security forces crossed over to Kisumu. Is it Kisumu? Yeah, and arrest or kidnapped people who went there for a conference. Yeah? So that makes you aware of what's going on. So stay low, stay safe, communicate sensibly via the chosen channels, not to put any phone numbers in public. But as Mr. Senyonjo has given the email and the phone number, there you can open a communication channel. Because we don't trust these people, they are vile, well, they are not people. Yeah? But even animals will behave better. That's all I have for now, but we wait for me. I shall wait from Docas to hear what is the next step. because then we don't communicate publicly of what's what. Thank you very much, Joseph, and everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yuka, for those comments. Now, Reggie, let's give you one more chance, and then call on Dorcas to close this out.
Yeah, for sure, one more chance. Thank you so much. Yes. So number two, I want to add on the voice of Mimi and you, Joseph. And I'm also going to speak like a person who did law. We trust the testimony, but we verify. Mu Luganda oba ngenda kyogera ntya, obujulizi tubutwala naye tuba twetaaga tulabe omuntu yagenda ewa dokita. Dokita oyo akkirizibwa okupracticinga kubanga ne kooti kyezaagala ne bino ebitongole bya human rights biba byagala ekyo. So bikkiririza mu bujulizi bwo naye baba baagala balabeko ekintu ekyakolebwa oba case number, ebintu by'empapula. So ebyo olina okubeera nabyo. N'ekirala, Uganda etuuse waliwo omukutu gwendiko naye waliwo church pastor omuvubuka yagenzeeyo ng'akaaba nga yenna ddugala ng'amenjala emuluma, ne bamusembeza ne bamuwa ebyokulya ne bamuwanawo okusula. Ekiro n'azuukuka nabba buli kimu mu kyaki. Kiraba kati tutuusa awantu wera omuntu wajja tuba twetaaga tufuneko ekiyitawo, tetuwuliza buwulizi kyagamba ne tugamba woowe, kubanga mulimu abafere. Ate n'abafere bayinza okukozesa chance eyo ne bajja ne bawa obujulizi ne boogera kino kyantukako ne kino munyambe kino munkolere kino, ne bakozesa embeera eyakutuukako okubba abantu. So kwata obwo obujulizi obeere nabo, tuba tubwagala. Kizibuwala ng'oyogera bwogezi. Ekyokubiri, bw'oba oyogera mu kooti omuntu waba yakuleepinga olina okwogera buli kimu kyewalaba. Bw'aba yajjamu empale n'ajjayo akasolo olina okukyogera bw'otyo. Bw'otaba nga tokyogera obujulizi buba bufa. Zezo kooti bwebwo obujulizi olina okwogera buli kimu nga bwe bakiyita n'obwo bulumi bw'oyitamu. N'ebyo ebintu byakola ng'omaze dokita n'akukebera biba byongerako ne tuba nga tufuna ki? Obujulizi obulungi. Ekirala, tandikira w'oli olina essimu. Okay? Kenya internet si nfunga eya Uganda, ne sente si nnyingi nnyo ng'eya Uganda, nze mbaddeyo. Okay? Ofunayo akatono, tandikiraawo kubanga Katonda akuwadde ekifo kye tutayina. Kati omanyikiddwa nnyo okusinga ffe kubanga ekyakutuukako. Ate kati ekyakutuukako oripresentinga Northern Uganda. Gavumenti bwe yagendangayo n'ekola abantu ebikolobero, naye nga ffe tuli mu bwebafu. Tetulaga kituuka ku Bannayuganda. Naye kati engeri gavumenti gyetuuse ewunya nnyo. Obujulizi bwo bunene buwulizibwa buli wamu. Tandikira w'oli. Funa ennamba y'abantu nga yeekolera yali Kenya. Bakubuulire engeri gy'okweprotectingamu kubanga alina omukutu, awa obujulizi, ayogera ebyamutuukako, naye alina engeri gye yeeprotectinga. So tuukirira n'abo abantu already abaafunako ebizibu ne badduka. Bakuyambe kubanga ffe tujja kubuulira bintu bingi, naye gwali mu kintu kati, gwali mu bulumi. So ebyo bye njagadde okugamba, naye Mukama Katonda eyatutonda atubeere, akozese ekikutuuseeko kireme kufa, kituuke buli wamu gavumenti eno yeyongera okuwunya ewunyire buli omu aliddiremu abula engeri gyagituulamu mu linnya lya Yesu Kristo. Amiina. Back to you, Joseph.
Thank you so much, Reggie. Really appreciate your input. And with that, I think we are going. Dorcas, are you close by to close us out? Well, just to summarize, yes, it's been a very interesting, well, not interesting, actually very moving. Initially, it was just interesting. We're talking about people power and the clip from Popovich, talking about what it takes to remove a dictatorship, about action, people going to the streets, unity, uniting beyond our symbols, and rallying behind one candidate or rallying behind the cause and rallying under the flag. That it takes more than tweeting and being on the internet to actually do something, even though that obviously is very important, but you need to progress to action. And you need leadership for that to happen. That also is very important to maintain nonviolent discipline. That, as you go towards action, ensure that you're disciplined. Because if you have even one person engage in violence, that is an excuse the regime or any dictator can use to distinguish whatever you're trying to do. So that was very powerful. And leading by action beyond words. So that was. Then, of course, we got our colleague Ronald Mayiga, also known as Bobby, coming and telling us what happened to him, abducted twice. Stones to his testicles the first time, and then Sodoma the second time, and all the things that have happened to other colleagues in prison and by CM, these abuses were carried out by CMI, the EPDF, and the anti-terrorism agents in Uganda. So it gave us a very, very, very harrowing account what happened, and I requested that he be accommodated on a Twitter space and is willing to confront all these people. Including government agents, on Twitter space, and for the entire world to hear, and to shame them. So we promised that we will make that happen, and we also requested that he actually also compiles some evidence, whether audio and written, so that beyond the Twitter space, this evidence can be, compiled in such a way that it can be forwarded to important agencies that can help. So that was very important. And then I jumped on it and I asked Dorcas if possible, she can hold this space, Twitter space, next Friday. Because we can't lose this opportunity, because this could be what unlocks international community's action against Museveni. This Twitter space where Mr. Ronald Mayiga comes on and speaks about what happened to him and confronts whoever regime may try to send onto the Twitter space. And with that, perhaps we could have even Mr. Dorcas, we could have alternate spaces just in case the regime tries to hack a particular Twitter space. So with that, I'm calling on Dorcas to come and close us out and maybe give some input on what she thinks the way forward is as regards to Twitter space and other issues. So thank you so much, everyone, for your participation. It's been a very, very, very powerful session, and really very, very grateful for Mr. Ronald Mayiga for that testimony. And we pray for your safety. And of course, he appeals to us to find a way. The system is in Kenya, it's not safe. And so perhaps as a diaspora, we kind of think of ways to facilitate him. So thank you so much. With that, Dorcas, hopefully you are nearby to come and close us out. Dorcas?
Yeyo embeera eriwo bannayuganda ebikolero bingi General Museveni byakoze byatusiza ku bannayuganda, n'olwekyo kitukakatako okulaba ng'ebikolwa bye tubikomya kubanga yayinza okuba nga tagenda kustopinga kati naye nga walina okuba wamukomya oba amustopinga ebikolwa bye biggwewo abantu baffe balina okufiira obwereere okuwambibwa okutulugunyizibwa abantu bangi bali mu kubonaabona lwajja n'Omuseveni naye nga singa avaawo ebintu bijja kutereera abasibe bajja kuteebwa abatulugunyiziddwa abakozi bakyajja kufuna obwenkanya ate n'ababbiddweyo bebaddire nolwekyo kizibu kiri kyajja n'Omuseveni bw'anaawummula bw'ati nadda ebbali ojja kulaba Uganda bwetunyumira naye nga tagenda kuwummula mu mirembe nti najja kunnumba agenda awummule tulina okumufoosinga okumuteeka ku pesha okulaba buli kyetaagisa okulaba nga akkiriza n'agivaamu entebe alina osobola okufuna Munnayuganda ayagala ensi ye n'akulembera Uganda tusobola okuba nga tugenda mu maaso buli kimu nekitunyumira. Omukama bakuume mweraba.